At this place in history, we're in Bennington. I'm with Executive Director of the Vermont Historical Society, Steve Perkins. And Steve, we're at one of the most recognizable state historic sites.
I know, I love this site. It is totally awesome. So, huge monument. We're gonna go inside and check it out.
Let's go.
So Amanda, we are inside the Bennington Battle Monument now, and as you can see, there's stairs and an elevator. We got special permission to take the stairs today. There's 412 of them. We're gonna head to the top. We're gonna go see Mary Lou Cicotti, who's the site administrator, to talk about this really cool building. So are you ready for 412 steps?
I've got my walking shoes on. Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
So this is an incredible monument. When was it built? And I can't even imagine, how was it built?
Well, it was started in 1887. That's the year they laid the cornerstone. It took 2 years to finish the stonework, so the stone was finished in 1889. It was opened in 1891 to coincide with Vermont's centennial as a state. So it's 126 years old this year. They started with scaffolding, double-sided, and they used steam engine derricks to lift the stones up. They had mules pulling the ropes and things. We have some pictures of the early construction, and you can see steam engines in the background. It was pretty phenomenal. I think it was back in the years when they could just do it. And the stones came from Hudson Falls, New York. They were cut right here on the site. There was a train line that brought them right to this spot. The layout of the stones was called headers and stretchers, similar to Legos. They had the double stones this way, and then they put stones on top the other way and just built it on up. Pretty amazing how they got the taper in, the way it tapers right to the capstone.
Now, Mary Lou, I had heard that this was not the first design. How did they end up with this design?
Well, a fellow named Highland Hall, he was afraid that people would forget the Battle of Bennington. So he lobbied to have something put as a memorial to this battle. And he formed a committee, a design committee, to come up with a design. The first design was too small. He said, no, people aren't going to come to see that. The second design, a little bigger, but he said, still, you don't get it. He said he wanted massive and lofty. And an architect by the name of J. Philip Rinn said, you want massive and lofty? I've got a design for you. And he showed them a phenomenal design, which is the same height, but it had a lot of other turrets and buildings to it. And that was the first one that Highland Hall looked at and said, now we're talking. Construction from start to finish came to about $112,000, including the land. So some of the funds came from the federal government. Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Vermont raised funds and put in certain proportions of it. School children collected money and private donations. So it was a combination of a lot of people coming together to donate to construct the monument. The opening was really impressive. The President of the United States at the time was here. Calvin Coolidge was here as a young boy. There were thousands of people here in Bennington. There's a photo that shows an arc that was built over the main street downtown, and it's full of people, dignitaries from all over.
So I noticed as we were coming up the stairs to the observation deck, there was a ladder that kept going.
We are part of the landing pattern of the airport, which is 1.5 miles away. So the lights at the top have to be on all the time. So there's ladders that lead to the top to get to those lights. There's the control room for the elevator is right above us, and that's a separate climate-controlled room for the elevator's workings. And the ladders are just to get you up to the top. We get visitors from all over the world. In one day, we can see people from 10 different countries. We're written up in a lot of German and French travel books. We're actually well known in foreign countries. Coming here, we get visitors from all over the states and from Vermont. You come to the monument, they buy the tickets in the gift shop, come on over. We have an elevator that takes people up to the observation floor. There's a lot to see downstairs. There's a lot of exhibits that explain how it was built, why it was built, who wanted it built, and when.
So Amanda, massive and lofty.
Oh, it sure is. The Bennington Monument at this place in history.